What is going on, guys? It is Supercar77 here, and today on That Car Show, we're going to talk about the Ferrari 430 Scuderia. Now, the Ferrari 430 Scuderia has a 4.3-litre V8, 510 horsepower. 0 to 60 happens in about 3.6 seconds, onwards to a top speed of 320 kilometers an hour. Now, with the stats out of the way, let's talk about the driving experience of the 430 Scuderia. So the 430 Scuderia has a single clutch, also known as the F1 gearbox, which is shifts in about 60 milliseconds, which is incredibly fast, and it is very raw, very violent shifts, and it's fun because it's a single clutch. And that is, I think, the best gearbox in many cars, as in the single clutch, not that particular F1 gearbox, but most single clutches. So in the Audi R8, in the Murcielago, in the Aventador, in the 430 Scuderia, the single clutch that they use is definitely not so usable day to day, but it's just much more thrilling and enjoyable to use when you want to push the car hard and go for a good drive. So like, if you're in that car, the kick it gives you when you shift up, when you downshift, and the 430 Scuderia, the screams from the engine, oh my god. Like, revving to almost 9,000 RPM, it is fantastic. It is just screaming and screaming and screaming. It's a fantastic, fantastic car to listen to drive, everything. It's so good. And Ferrari, you just can't fault when it comes to the engines. It's fantastic. There is nothing bad about the car. The experience is great, but on road trips, after a couple of hours, it can get quite uncomfortable with the bucket seats in the car, but it's not really something you would complain about when you're having so much fun driving anyways, so it's not too bad. The Scuderia is the kind of car that I would say, if you were a Ferrari collector, you would want to have in your stable garage, whatever, but it is the kind of car you would want because because it's a special edition Ferrari, and on top of that, if you have a 16M, even more special. 16M Scuderia is the convertible Scuderia, but it's the same thing, just with the roof off, that's it. But it is basically the kind of car you need to be in the future to enable you to purchase more rare Ferraris. So for example, if you're gonna want a new like the new TDF, when that was about to come out or whatever, I'm sure Ferrari dealerships probably checked their customer lists and saw that, oh, this person bought a Scuderia from our dealership, this person bought a 509 GTO, a Speciale, blah blah blah, and so on. But people who bought those special cars are more likely to be on the list to get a TDF rather than people who just walk up and say, I just want the TDF, because Ferrari probably turn you down in that case. So like, just with the LaFerrari, if you want a LaFerrari, you have to own the special Ferraris, you have to own the 288, F40, F50, Enzo. But it's not always the case, but it has been seen a few times with people who have ended up getting LaFerraris, and they've also owned those older special Ferraris in the past. So that is kind of why the Scuderia is important, to enable you to buy future special Ferraris. So because of the way Ferrari works, they'd want you to have all these cars first before you can buy this car, and it's a good marketing gimmick, because really they're just making more money off you, and it's just interesting in that sense. But the Scuderia is going to be important for that, because if you want your future 488 hardcore, the hardcore 488 that's going to come out in about maybe 2 years or so, I'd say you would need a Scuderia 360 Challenge Stradale, Speciale, and I'd say, yeah, you would need those three at least to be able to be on the list of first dibs on a 488 hardcore, whatever they're gonna call it, challenge, Speciale, blah blah blah. You know, Ferrari with hopefully not with their names, they're gonna come out with something stupid, but hopefully not. Hopefully it's a nice name. But the 488 in general isn't really that good of a Ferrari. It's definitely a good car, but it's not a Ferrari. It's not a good Ferrari, if that makes any sense. But it's a good car, no doubt. But the V8 turbo just doesn't do it. The Scuderia is, well, I would say the last analog V8 Ferrari. Yeah, it's definitely that, because the thing about the Scuderia is that single clutch, that naturally aspirated V8, everything about it, it just makes it so old school, so old fashioned. And even the 430, which is the normal one, came with a manual, which was one of the last Ferraris to ever come with manuals. So in that sense, the 430 Scuderia is the quintessential analog V8 Ferrari. Now the V12 Ferrari, you would obviously say the 599 GTO. The Scuderia and the 599 GTO put together are the two last analog Ferraris in that sense. Obviously not the last naturally aspirated Ferraris, but the last analog for that pure, raw, undisturbed driving experience where you feel like you're in an actual race car, with the shifts being really fast. Not as fast as the dual clutch in the newer cars, but really fast, really raw, really not smooth. It's not like you could, like for example, I know people who daily a Speciale. Now, you could not daily a Scuderia. It is such a difficult car to drive around in town because of its clunkiness and everything, but that's what makes it special. It's the kind of car that you want to take out on an occasion, on a nice day, on a sunny Sunday, on a sunny Sunday, and then you would take that out for a blast, and you would just enjoy every single second of it. And that's the whole point of the Scuderia. That's the point of it. It's the kind of car that, it's the analog car, it's the occasion car, it's the car you want to, spend maybe 2-3 hours in it, and that's about it, and then you'd be so happy and you'd be done for the week. You wouldn't have to touch it again. But that's the point. It needs to be the kind of car that is going to put a smile on your face wherever you are. And even if you do choose to daily the car, the clunkiness, the annoyingness of the gearbox is all part of the fun. It's part of the enjoyment and the experience of owning a car that's as raw as that. But that's the Ferrari 430 Scuderia. It is definitely the last analog Ferrari V8 car, and there'll never be another car like it. It is fantastic. So from me to you guys, if you have the money, if you have the means to buy one of those, go out and get it, because they're not going to be around forever, and they are fantastic cars. You will not go wrong. Love them. Anyways, guys, that's all we have time for today on That Car Show. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, share it, whatever you guys want. Anyways, peace out, love cars, see you soon.